Hi guys, how are you all doing today? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anu, and if this is your first time joining me, welcome. I've vlogged from Edmonton, Canada, and I vlog about God, lifestyle, beauty, and weddings also because I recently got married, so I've been doing a lot of tips about wedding planning, and also I just concluded a 5-part series on vendor review, and I also have a live radio show called Life Matters with Anu Adedire, and I put a lot of great content into that, so you should go check out those videos. Now today, I would say last night I saw an old challenge, and I never do like makeup beauty. When I talk about beauty, I talk about beauty when it comes to like your description of your identity, or like beauty in relation to how you portray yourself, how you carry yourself, understanding how God has made you beautiful, and I should just stick to that. You get. So today, today I'm going to be jumping on an old challenge, and it is called doing your makeup in alphabetical order. Now, I have never done this before, and heads up, I'm not a makeup artist or makeup pro, so I will just be having fun. And I'm hoping that you have this fun with me. So the first thing on the alphabetical letter, there's something in A. So the first thing I'll be using is my baking powder. So sometimes I bake. So right now I use the Sacha Buttercup baking powder. So I'm going to be using that to bake my face. So let's see how it goes, but I'm very sure that as you have my face, it's clean, I'm moisturized, so that's my normal routine, but it's like in the morning. But yeah, let's do some baking. So normally normally I bake my like T-zone and a little bit under my chin, so because that's basically where I get most of my oil, because I have very oily skin. So we do some of this. I know it's gonna spill everywhere. I told you, I'm not a makeup artist. So let's just bake. Let's just basically bake. So on Wednesday, every Wednesday, I kind of always have like I always have a, what do you call this thing? A show called Life Matters with Another Day. I told you earlier, and yeah, we're done baking, and it's a very interesting show. I always actually have guests that come on the show from different parts of the world, so if you want to jump in, you should join us on Facebook and Instagram live as we do that. So I'm done baking my face. Apparently this is not what they call baking, but that's what I used to bake my face. So basically I think that, and again, I heard from like a very good makeup artist on YouTube that actually when you first put baking powder on your face, it actually really helps. If you have oily skin, it helps make it matte. So let's believe that basically we're not doing that. And this is a powder brush I got years ago. I think 4 or 5 years ago. My brush set. I would not recommend this brush, but I'll just tell you. These days I just stick to e.l.f. The next thing on my list is my blush. So I use this blush by Rimmel. I like expensive stuff. Very few stuff are expensive, but I'm a drugstore girl, so I always go to drugstore to buy my stuff. Don't judge me, but yeah, that's what I do. So we're gonna do this, and that's my blush. You can't just give yourself that small smile and make yourself happy. I don't use so much, but because I know that this is gonna stay a while, so we're gonna make my face look very red. So this is my blush. Actually, we're done with blush, and we set that back. So this is my butterscotch and my blush. So next on the list is my bronzer. Now I used to have a bronzer. I can't even lie to you. I used to have a bronzer that I use normally. But what happened to me is that I started this LA Pro Girl is really dark and is really rich. It's kind of darker than even my concealer itself. So what I do most times is I take my I take my bronzer brush. So I have to look for it. So I have different brushes actually, and this eyeshadow, this foundation, this is nose shadow. We can actually think that lip eyeliner. Should we just use this as because we should use this one as that. So this is apparently supposed to be your nose shadow. This is supposed to be my contour brush. So should I just make a contour brush? Let's use the nose shadow, because it doesn't. No, this is eyeshadow. So nose shadow is this. Oh my god, what is called it? What's the nose shadow? So it's apparently close to what they call and to what we have as the contour brush. So hopefully this works perfect, but I don't use so much when I use my bronzer. So normally I just use my bronzer here and just a little bit up here. So I will do same. Normally I would just use my hand. I can't relate to you. I just smear my hand around it and I just kind of melt it around. So I use my brush to sort of, but like I said, I use a brush. So when I use the brush, it doesn't like smear all around like this. But I can't lie to you guys. This is what I do. But when I do my contour, don't worry, I'm going to blend everything in. So this is how normally if I'm going to if I'm going to use this, it is so messy. So I'm going to use my nose shadow brush. I'm going to clean the black thing off my hand so that it doesn't stain and what's off this hand. So yeah, we're gonna do that. So when I do it, I use this and I blend in, but this is like crap. So I'm just going to use my contour brush. I can't lie to you, my contour brush should just save my life. So we do that. So we're going to use the contour brush to do all that so that it kind of makes it blend in. And like I said, my contour brush is very good. It's from the same my brush set, but it's it really gives you a very good definition. I like lately when I do my contour, you can see the depth here. I think it has more depth on this side and this side, but like I said, this is just supposed to be a bronzer. But like I said, I can't find my original bronzer, so when I don't find it, I always use this liquid one by, it's supposed to be an eyeshadow for darker sisters, but I always use this one. So let's see how it comes out. Actually not bad. It's actually not bad. It looks like I actually just put stuff that is just darker on my area, like on my head and on my, yeah, it just gives it that shadow, right? Which I like. So the next thing we're going to do, this is so weird. So the next thing we're going to do is our concealer. So I always use LA Pro Girl. I like their concealer. Oh no. Okay, so when I'm brushing out, I use my LA Pro Girl, but I've always loved this particular one by NARS, and it's very nice. It's the walnuts medium to dark. So this is my concealer. So I always use my concealer under my eye because under my eye is very sometimes swollen. So under my eye, I put some here, just shadow. I put some here. I kind of create a crease around here too, and I put also my T's on my forehead. So we're going to be doing that a little bit. I'm going to put just to define how the brows look like. So basically, we're going to be doing that. So this is how I normally would just put it here, and I've been learning that you should take it closer to the eye so that you can get more definition to it, and you kind of bring it down towards your nose. Been doing some, been learning some things from YouTube tutorial. And on Wednesday, okay, actually, let me just give you a sneak peek. So on Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about something very close to my heart, and that's I listened to this song by, what they call this person, by Travis Green, and it's called Perform. And at the end of the song, he said, Lord, don't let me perform for you. And in my head, I'm thinking, what do you mean by that? Are you saying that all the things you have been doing, that we always sing up and down, we don't perform? But what it means is that don't let me get to a point where my word should be more like a performance. And as I was meditating on that song like all through the weekend, I caught a glimpse of this person. What do you call it? So I always put on my eyeshadow bands too, just to give you some definition and just to make that place also brighter. So what I use also is the NARS, NARS is the e.l.f. This is supposed to be the concealer brush, but I feel it's too small for me, basically. So I use the foundation part of it. So that's what the song was about for me, and I felt like, oh, this song is very good. And like all through the weekend, I was thinking about this song, and I listened to it several times until I woke up on Saturday and I had this very strong nudge in my heart to actually discuss this topic and creating a performance. And the person that came to mind was Anna, and the fact that when she went to, the story of Anna in the Bible. For those that know Anna in the Bible, Anna was Elkanah's wife, and she didn't have a child. And they said, and the Bible said that the Lord did not open a womb. And you kind of think that, how would someone that goes to serve God every time, does all these things for God, and still God not open a womb? And God kept opening the womb of his other wife, Peninnah, and she would mock Anna with her children, and Anna will feel bad about it because she felt like, upon all these things that I'm doing and all that, and I still come here, God still hasn't given me a child. So at the end of the day, in chapter 2, towards the end of chapter 1, Anna they always go to Shiloh every year, and like give sacrifice unto the Lord. So Elkanah will give Anna like the best because he really loved Anna, right? But Anna didn't have a child. So you know how Elkanah will give like Peninnah and her children their own money, or their own, like what they call offering now, what we sometimes call offering, right? So Elkanah will do that, but Anna will get like the best of everything that he's supposed to give out. So Anna, at the end of the day, went to the temple and cried before the Lord, and cried so loud before God, and was like, God, I can't, when you're like, God, I can't be coming this every time. And she was groaning and crying in the temple, and the priest Eli came in. I was thinking that she was drunk, so he was like, this woman that is drunk, is this how to come to God's house and still be drunk and all that? And she stood up and said, oh, prophet, like, I'm not drunk, I'm just praying to the Lord to give me this, that. And she explained her predicament to the priest, to the prophet Eli, and Eli said, may it be according to your word, and by this time next year you're going to have your own child. And one thing that Anna did, I'm going to just what do you call this thing, solidify everything with my, I don't know what they call this thing, I forget, blending sponge. So one thing that Anna did was she told God that if you will give me this child, I'm going to give him back unto you. And it is a lot that when God gives you something, when you say you're going to give it back, don't actually make a covenant with God and go back on it. And that's what she did. She actually made a covenant with God and gave the son back to God. So for me, it was the way she was, he actually thought she was drunk. And for me, that means she was literally like in 1,000 places while she was praying. So yeah, it's just that there was no performance, there was nothing, there was all that. After the concealer, now I have to contour. So I'm still going to go back into with my contour brush, and I use the Fenty Beauty contour stick. I love it a lot. It's and it lasts. So what I do is I put a whole bunch of crease on my hand, and that's what I pack my contour blah 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 from. So I just take a bunch of it. So it has already corrected the T-zone. Remember that I already put the liquid thing I use for my so I put this underneath just to give you some definition. And like I said, my previous video, I believe if you watch my previous video, it shows you where I actually shaved my hair because it's cut, right? So like I said, it's more or less like Anna understood a covenant with God, but my own point is more or less like when I listen to this song and I see the life of Anna, it makes me think that, oh, Anna was actually that woman that didn't care about who was next to her in church, or who was close to her, or who was looking at her in church. You understand? You know how we're having problems and we're just forming for God, like, let me just praise in a certain way. I know it's not the jumping and banging around, but there are times where when you really need something from God, you you're not even kidding, you just go all out, right? So, and that's what Anna did, and that's what I believe, that we should stop performing for God. We should just leave everything, lay it down. No matter how it is that you're growing in your heart, just lay it down. So now we're done with the contouring, and we're going to be doing this called eyebrow. So I don't really eyebrow like that, because I feel like my eyebrow is always bushy. So I always use this eyebrow pencil, but I have is it a gel, we'll call it? So what did they call it? Like a pomade. So the pencil comes for pomade, yeah. So I'm going to do the eyebrow pencil first. Don't judge my eyebrow, it's always like this. So that's kind of what we're going to be discussing this Wednesday. And the life Anna lived. Oh my god, I think my eyebrow pencil is almost finished. Actually, that's almost finished, so I have to be very careful on how I draw the zinga. So yeah, it's very important that we don't have that forming attitude for God and just feel like, oh, you know what, he already knows what I'm going through, so I don't have to ask him anything. Even the scripture says, ask and it shall be given unto you, right? So I believe that we should always ask God for anything we need, and we should always ask from the bottom of our heart. We should always give God that best that he deserves, right? And don't, I told you, I'm not the best at eyebrow. Like, to be very sincere with you, when it comes to eyebrow, I'm not the super best. So don't even let's start with the eyebrow judgments. So what do they call this thing? So like I said, I've been in situations where I go to a brand new church, and I've already told myself before leaving there, I was like, I'm not just like, be cool, be chill, just don't jump around, don't. I'm not that kind of person that will go to a new church and I'll not probably, like, when they're doing Thanksgiving, I'll not be jumping and dancing. I don't even my normal church, I really don't do that. It's only if like that day what enters me, or if I'm leading praises. So if I'm leading praises, I can't predict myself. That's one thing about me. I can't predict myself when I'm leading praises. So now I'm going to be using my my eye pomade. To be very sincere, guys, I can't remember when last I used this my eye pomade, but it's just like something that you use, right? So sometimes, and there was a time I went to a particular church, and oh my god, guys, the way I was worshiping, I knew in my heart that this is not the real me, because I know that if it was the real me, I probably like be comporting myself. I'm saying, hey, let's just. But that day, I think God just wanted to like expose my heart to a couple of things, and God really did. And that's one thing that I always tell people, that you never know. Even when, like, before, I used to judge. When I go to a new church and the choir is crap, it's not like I don't still judge sometimes. Like, the singer in me will actually first judge and look at the choir like, now, wow, what's this person like this? So I'm watching, right now they're doing 78 hours of praise for the Redeemed Christian Church of God. So a big shout out to Daddy Adeboye. Today's his birthday. So to the best of my knowledge, and to the best of my camera knowledge, this is what I'm going to use as my eyeshadow on my eyebrow. So next in line, we're going to use an eyeliner, and my eyeliner is somewhere here. Oh la 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 la! I took my eyeliner out though. Can you see how these things work? Somebody just want to disgrace you. And I brought it out a couple of minutes ago. Okay, this is it. So I have my Intense Ink eyeliner by Elf. So I'm going to be using my eyeliner. Don't judge. So as I was saying, normally if I'm if I have like I'm in a new church or something, or they're singing a song I know, and the part is crap, I won't lie to you. I will like cringe for 1 minute. I'm like, oh my god, what are they singing? You get that kind of thing. Like, I will feel that way just because I feel like so I always do my under eye too, and just journey with my fake wing. One wing, fly with one wing. Okay, so the problem is always this eye, because I'm not a lefty. My husband is a lefty, but I will try to do my best. You get it? So as I was saying, I will judge in my heart. I will think about what they're singing. I'll hear the part. I'm like, oh Jesus, what kind of part is this? Or this person's off. I'm like, this person's flat, and that will go through my mind. But these days, I think with growth and with your walk with God, He just helps you move past that. And to be very sincere, it's not an excuse for choir to actually sing rubbish, but it's also important that we should give God our best, right? I can't see much, so I am really hoping that I do my best to give myself a good wing on this side. So, okay, so that's not complete yet. I'm just hoping I'm doing the right thing. So that's what I did. So I went to the church that day and I already told myself to compose, be a good share. Like I think that day I just wanted to test out how the church was about, because I'd already had a lot of things about this church, right? Well, yeah, it's not bad. So we're done with the eyeliner, and next thing will be my eye primer. So I'm using this eye primer by Photo Focus. Guys, don't even ask me how I have all this in my I tell you I'm not a makeup artist, but I have all these things. Don't even ask me, because I still don't know how I bought everything. But now I'll be using my eye primer. So I will just use a regular medium eyeshadow brush, to be very sincere. No, I will not use that one. I have chunks of brush, guys. Like, I can't even lie to you. I have chunks of them. So this is supposed to be like an angle brush, but I'm going to use it for my primer. So yeah, as I was saying, so I will just go to the church and I will literally just judge. I can't even lie to you. I will judge because I felt like this will make me either feel better or look better, right? So, and okay, I supposed to have eyelashes before eyeliner. And guys, I actually don't use eyelashes. My eyelashes are quite long, and I don't want to go through. I don't like going through all that stress. So even when I'm like with a professional makeup artist and they want to use like all these eyelashes for me, I tell them, if you don't have a small one, don't use any eyelashes for me. And I beg them, name of God, I don't need it. I personally don't need it. I think it's just extra stress. And the fact that immediately after I was straight away, so there's no point for me at the end of the day to use it. That's cleaned my wing. So we've done that, and we'll do the eyeshadow. So I'm not a master in eyeshadowism, so I will do my best to try my best to do a good eyeshadow. I'll be using my Rimmel Magnified Wow Edition palette, and I will be going for something a little bit bright. So as I was saying, I will do that. Like, I will not even lie. Okay, the thing comes with a brush, so I kind of use the brush. So I will go with like whatever mindset I had that day. And that day I went to this church, and to be very sincere with you, oh my God, it was like the heavens opened upon my life, like upon my destiny, and I was able to worship God like sincerely. Like I was able to just splurge on God that day. And since that day till now, I've just taken my mind off like whether the drums are good or bad, whatever it is that I can be going through in my life, I will never for 1 minute like because of people not worship God. And I know that a lot of us, we are affected by that thing. Especially when you go to a church where you expect a lot from them or their music, or you've heard about their music before, and you hear all those things, and at the end of the day, the music doesn't come out as much as what you want. It's always bad. It's always stressful. Let me use that word. It's always stressful. So that would be my eyeshadow. Like I told you, I don't do much of eyeshadow. I'm not really a makeup person for every day. Even to work, I don't use makeup like that. So I'm even feeling bad I'm doing this one, because I might probably just clean it after, because I don't know the outcome. Okay, so now I've done my eyeshadow and I feel like to a large extent it's very good. So we'll go to my foundation and I use the Fenty Beauty in number Pro Filter 440. So I'm going to be using that. Most times I have a foundation brush which I use from Elf, and I'm also going to just brush it around. Then I'm going to use my beauty blender to what I'm going to try to do is to try and hide it across like lines so that I don't like clean my, but there's no how I'm going to clean my shadow and all these other things. Let me just do how I'll normally do it. Well, so as I was saying, I just try my best, and I since that time I have stopped like judging, even though sometimes like you can't help it. To be very sincere with me, you can't help it but to sort of, so I kind of blend to my neck just because it'll be very important for me to so I'm going to use my beauty blender to kind of blend everything in, right? So by the time I'm done, by the time I grow as I grow, I learn to understand that it's just important for us all to understand that each church has its own capacity, right? And but it's also important for choir members to also grow, because I think that one of the problems I have with a lot of choirs out here today is that most choirs don't want to grow. They just want to stay as they are, and they want to, oh, this is how we have been doing it, or this is how we've been doing that. And it affects the people. You know, I was having a conversation with a particular person, and I said that a lot of times the choir is a reflection of the church, right? So if the choir isn't representing the church right, it just doesn't make the church look right altogether, right? Either way, just like the technical team. The technical team are the ones in charge of sound for the church, right? And you hear this boo boom boo boom, and you feel very bad for the church, because they kind of whatever they're portraying the church to be is more or less like this church is not it. So yeah, so we are done with that. I was able to try and smoothie my ways around without you know what, let me just fill it in because it's annoying me. So the next on the list is highlighter. So I always use this highlighter, which I love so much. And this highlighter is by Master Chrome Maybelline. So I always use Fenty sometimes too, but today I'm going to be using this one. I can always blend it in so that it has that effect, shimmer effect. So I take it up a bit, then I put some of my forehead and some of my chin, then I kind of sometimes crease it around my, but yeah, that's kind of how it will sit for a while. Even though I think sometimes I think that this technique can be old, because I actually don't need that much, but sometimes we just stick to our old ways, like I said. So it's very important. Choir, please, let's try our best to represent our church well. So after that, I have my lip gloss, and I use the lip gloss by Rimmel London. I use a lot of Rimmel because I told you I'm a drugstore person. So I think I lip gloss. Yeah, and I also use lip stains. So I use a lip stain from Sephora. This is my first time using this one, so I hope it's really nice. It's a lip stain. This is like medicine after death. Okay, so we're done with the lips. I don't use lip liner. I don't know. I don't really know that. So when I'm done with that, I go for... When I'm done with that, I don't use lipsticks. I use lip stains, and I use this one. but I can also use this thing so that it will just give me some definition. So once I'm done with this, then we'll go to mascara. So this is my mascara. My mascara is Snapscara by Maybelline. Like I said, I use a little drop stuff. So we do that, and like I said, I am so I just encourage like churches, and I encourage a lot of pastors. Like, I know sometimes it's what do you call it? We put more focus on the message. But let me tell you something about this life, is that when the music is not good, it just shuts people out from even listening to the message, right? So let's make sure that we invest in our choir really well. So back to the performance thing, right? So it's very important that even though sometimes bad choir can almost want you to start performing for God, or bad choir can almost want to start forming for how you feel about the worship time or whatnot. But I think through growth and through a lot of like prayer and all the sorts, you're able to kind of grow past that, and you're able to worship God sincerely. I mean sincerely, like without even thinking twice about it. So yeah, it's very important that we do that, so that we're able to work and we're able to do what we gotta do and worship God in spirit and in truth, right? And that's the most important thing, to worship God in spirit and in truth. So I am sort of almost done with my mascara. Yeah, like I said, because yeah. So now we're done with that. We are going next to the powder. So I use my MAC NW45, and I have this powder brush I've used before now. So I just dab it around and I just put it in places where I just need more stuff to pop. Normally sometimes I use my baking powder here, and there are times where I just don't use my baking powder, and most of the time I use this powder to just make sure that the face is and the neck is blended and all that. And once I'm done with that, now it's time to put my primer. Now, fortunately for me, unlike so many of the brand and YouTubers that I've seen, lately I've actually been using my e.l.f. oil control primer mist. So I actually don't use the creamy powder, I use the mist primer. So I just put that in my face and I let it sit for a while before I actually apply my makeup. But now that we're doing it the other way around, I'm going to be putting the last thing, and that will be my setting powder, setting spray. Actually, yes, the last one will be the setting spray. So I will actually be putting my setting spray. My setting spray is by Milani Make It Last. This one's supposed to be a matte finish, but I've noticed that the clear bottle one actually gives me a more matte finish than this. But we're going to be using this one next. So yeah, guys, that is my makeup in alphabetical order. It would have been nice to see my babe, can you come and see it? So I want my husband to see the reaction to my makeup in alphabetical order, and I want to see his reaction to how he feels. I might not show you his face because he's a little bit busy, but I want to see his reaction to my makeup in alphabetical order. So guys, yeah, this is kind of what I have as my finish. It's actually not bad. I think the weird thing is that my blush has gone. See, what do you think? So in alphabetical order.
Okay, turn this way. Okay.
Okay, so my husband says it's nice, guys. So that's all that matters at this moment. But yeah, my foundation has cleaned up my blush, and I was able to still keep some contour in some places, but you can see that one is well contoured than the other parts. And my eyeshadow, my eyebrows still stayed a little bit, so it was not bad. Actually, I think I should be using my eye primer more, just to make the eyeshadow actually have this pretty effect. But yeah, looks really nice. So thanks guys for watching. I know this is like an old challenge, but I was able to actually wiggle it up today, and I hope you love it. So as I was saying, on Wednesday, we'll be having the show called Life Matters Anna Didire, and we'll be talking about creating a performance, the life of Anna. So if you want to join us, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Anu Adedire Akinawono. And if you haven't joined the family, subscribe to this YouTube channel. God bless you. I love you and I celebrate you. Till I see you next time. Bye.